Greetings everybody and welcome to this update on Lightroom Classic. At the end of May, beginning of June, Adobe updated Lightroom Classic to the latest version. You can check whether you have got the latest version by going up to Adobe Classic and go to About Lightroom Classic, and currently I am on version 13.3.1 release. So you can check that on your side, and if you have not got the latest one, and go along and check for under the help option and check for updates and update it to the latest one. The major new update in the Lightroom Classic is the addition of AI Generative Remove tool. And this is something that has been available in Adobe Photoshop for a while, where they actually generate the background. In this case, they've added it into Lightroom Classic as a background remove or an item remove. I'm going to go into detail and show you that in a little while. Before that though, besides, there are some other updates in this new version, such as blurry background and stuff. I don't use that too much. I rather prefer to get that right in camera. The other really good one that I use a lot though, since they've brought it out, is under the filter, under the attribute filter. You can now go along and ask Lightroom to show you all the photographs that are not yet exported. So if you work like I work, where I edit photographs and then I export it, then I edit another batch and I export, it's very, very easy now to go along and just choose this tool up at the top here, which shows you all the photographs that have not yet been exported. And that just saves you a little bit of time, so you don't export photographs or choose photographs to export and they have already been exported, and then Lightroom is going to ask you whether you want to give it a unique name or overwrite it, or what you want to do with it. So that's a very, very decent tool, and it can be found under the attribute option at the top. And you've got two options here. You've got one to show you photographs that have already been exported, and you've got another one to show you photographs that have not yet been exported. So a very, very useful tool that I use there. All right, let's get into the generative remove tool. So I'm going to just go down here. I've got a whole lot of photographs of my daughter's doing horse jumping, and I'm going to go along and find one that I can see where it's got items in the photograph that I do not want to be in that photograph. Let's see one which we can use. Is that a good one? Let me just have a look at that. Yeah, I think that is a good one to use. All right, so there's a lot of items in here, particularly in the background, that I might want to look at that and say, let me remove that. I don't want to have those items in the actual photograph. The first thing we need to do is to go to the develop module. It brings it up into the big screen, and then you'll find the generative remove tool under the what looks like an eraser option over here. If we click on that, it brings up another option where it says remove. You have still got the heal, the plaster tool, and also the clone tool. As in the case of the previous version, you can still use that. It does mention here that it is an early access, so they are still working on this. You can think of this as being sort of like a beta version of it, and it is generative AI that you can click or unclick that for it to create its own background. You can also tell it to be object aware, so if you highlight and you're selecting a person, or in this case a horse or a car, what have you, you can tell it to be object aware. I'm not going to use that in this case. I'm going to be removing the poles and the jumps at the background over here. You can also change, you can see when I bring the tool over, the mouse pointer over onto the photograph, it creates a circle. You can change that size of that circle, and you can also change the opacity of the circle. All right, so I have selected the generative AI remove tool, and what I'm going to do now is just paint over the area that I want removed. You can see that my mouse is drawing over there. They do suggest that you go quite wide, that you go wider than what your actual subject is that you want to remove. And then all you do is simply choose apply. And Adobe Lightroom now, the AI, the intelligence of the program, is now checking that area that I want to remove, and at the same time checking the background around that photograph, around those items in the photograph, to see how I can best match the removal of those options. So let's see what we get there. You can see it's going through. It gives you the progress monitor as it goes through there, and let's see what we get once it's done. You will see that once it is done, it actually gives you 3 options. So it creates 3 different backgrounds for you, and you can then choose which one is best for you and your choice. So if we go over here now, we'll see that, wow, look at that. I mean, that is, I don't need to do anything more with that. I think that is absolutely brilliant. I think it's even added in a bit of the cloud shadow on the background there, but absolutely brilliant. As I say, you've got variations here that you can choose. 1, 2, and 3. I think they're all pretty much the same in this case. That one, yeah, is that one better? You then decide which one you want better. In this case, it looks like the cloud shadow is changing quite a bit. So I'm going to leave it on the original one that we have there. Just going to click that tool off, and I want to go in. I also see that we've got a bit of a flag in the background over here, so I'm going to choose the tool again, and then we've got and I'm just going to drag it over and actually drag it down right onto the horse's tail there, and I say apply. Now the tool, the way that it has improved in the past, you used to have to go along and choose a target area of the area that you wanted to be replaced. So it's quite a manual process, and then it replaced it of the area that you specifically chose. In this case now, you just have one drag of the mouse and let it do its thing, and there you can see it's done it absolutely perfect. The hair on the horse's tail is still in and what have you. It's absolutely, that does a really brilliant job in this case. So that's the generative AI tool. You can see how easy it is to use it. Any object that you've got in your photograph now that you'd prefer to be out, maybe you're an event photographer and you photograph a couple standing at an event and there's another person in the background, you can use it to remove that person. So really cool tool and a great addition to Lightroom Classic. I have included this video in my Lightroom Classic course. So if you want to learn more about all the other options within Lightroom Classic, reach out and I will share that information with you. Thank you so much.